Hey, Przemek, just the two of us here.
Thanks. So I remember what the setting was that you created, Andrew. People join automatically, or are they in the waiting? Are you going to be admitting them one by one into the space?
I can probably sit.
Yeah, okay. So I'm seeing him in the meeting. So I'm doing one more quick test, Andrew. Just no. Just can you see my screen? Can you see my slide, PowerPoint slide?
See the whole
Can you
Yeah.
see
Yep.
this? I switched over to a Microsoft Copilot.
Yeah. Now you're sharing the whole screen.
Kahoot.
So everything is running on the screen right now.
Okay, I'm glad. Yeah, that's what I wanted to.
Yeah, that's
Make
all working
sure.
well, Przemek. Hey, let me interrupt for just a second. I'm just slightly worried that the emails aren't going out of Slate with the link.
Not yet.
No, just so that it shows Spark.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yep, that works.
Okay, great.
Good.
Thank you. So for the moment, I will stop sharing. I want the people who come into the Zoom space
Hey,
see
hey,
my
Przemek,
face
can you hear me?
first.
Can you guys hear me at all?
Cannot hear Jim.
Yeah, I cannot hear him either.
You have output set.
Oh, yeah.
Are you able to hear me now?
So
Back here because he's plugged in.
the TV
checking.
screen.
Yeah, you can try putting it to the TV. You're getting feedback by the board.
Oh, you're right. Do one more test, Jim, please.
Are you able to hear me now?
Oh, yes.
Yep, we can hear. I've got a little bit of concern that the emails might not be going out of Slate. The fact that nobody's here yet is making me really nervous.
It's making me.
I've downloaded the 51 recipients. If you want to send them an email, Przemek, just in case, I don't know, but I would think people would be here by now.
Okay.
You want me to just email you that spreadsheet?
Saying that it's going to start in an hour. I did get the email.
So someone's in the room just saying that he did receive an email and reminder just 1 hour at 1 p.m.
Okay, good. I didn't see one at all today, and so I'm not sure, but
And did it contain the Zoom link?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the Zoom link.
all right, good. Then we're in good shape, I think.
And I'm sorry, can you tell me your name?
Gopesh Anand.
Thank you.
Name is ANAMD.
Okay. Is that okay, Andrew? Did you catch that?
Oh, sorry.
My last name is Anand, ANAND. All right, so I'm clicking on the Zoom link, but it's not really a Zoom link, so maybe that.
What?
So it says access webinar, and when I go there, it's just going to this. Starting in 49 seconds, so there's only
Unless it goes live.
unless it goes live exactly at 2. Yeah, because it's saying event starting in 38, 37, it's counting down.
Well, let's hope and pray that that's that's going to
Yeah, I think
open the
open.
floodgates.
And then we can figure out.
Yeah, we can, and certainly we should certainly adjust that.
Do you want to count down from 10?
Yes.
It's in the wall flat. Hi there.
Hi. Welcome. Anywhere. As long as you can see the screen.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off.
Connect. Okay.
Event is in progress. Connect. So I'm going to hit connect and see what shows up.
Okay.
Yeah, it goes to Zoom then. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that's what it is.
All right.
Yeah. Probably a
Perfect. Okay. Welcome, folks. Those of you who are just joining us on the web on Zoom. We were having a brief heartache for a second. The way the meeting is set up, it automatically starts at 2 p.m. We were worried about attendance, seeing how no one was joining the live Zoom at or before 2 p.m. But we're glad you're here. So I'm going to start the meeting formally in maybe, let's say, 3 minutes to give the latecomers a chance to join us. Otherwise, welcome. And I'm glad you're here. And that very pleasant chime. Hi, Mo. All right, that very pleasant chime means that people are continuing to join the call. So I'm really glad for that.
Yeah. She's still here till the end.
So as I just mentioned, it's 1 after. I'm going to give the latecomers 2-3 minutes before we start. I promise we will be done before 3 p.m. folks.
Oh, you didn't send them? Okay. Wait, we got anything or?
No,
No?
no,
Okay.
registration closed at 1 p.m. today, 1 hour before the event. I won't kick you out. Yeah.
Yes.
Standing room only.
Once again, for those of you who just joined me on Zoom, I will go ahead and get started at 4 after in 2 minutes. Holy cow. Are you here for the workshop, folks?
AI workshop?
Yeah, yeah.
Come on in. Sit up legs, it's red chair, you can squeeze together.
Okay.
Did you register for this workshop? You did? So please check in with Andrew. He takes attendance.
Okay.
Those of you who are in the room, if you are registered for it, please check in with Andrew. Andrew wears the red shirt so that he can take attendance. And that way we will know who to share the post-workshop materials with. Okay, it's 4 after. I promised to start at 4, 4 minutes past 2 p.m. So I'm going to stick to my word. Welcome, everyone. My name is Przemek Bosak. I'm the Assistant Director for Instructional Innovation here with the Center for Innovation in Teaching and Learning. My warm welcome goes out to everyone who is present here at this workshop. At the moment, over 40 participants already. We're very, very, very pleased with the turnout. This is a hybrid workshop, but it is being recorded. And the recording will be made available along with the slide deck at some point. We haven't really fully decided how we're going to catalog and store the recordings, but we do have your contact information. And as soon as as these materials become available, you will be contacted with links and attachments. I'd like to welcome you all to the Summer of AI. We had an official kickoff event for this summer-long initiative between the CITL and the NCSA and Tech Services and the library. It's a joint venture. Summer of AI, a 2-month-long sequence of workshops and panel discussions and lectures and one-on-one consultations, all kinds of things. You will see a URL to the calendar of events for the full 2 months at the end of my presentation on one of the last slides. But this is the first official, workshop, official event of the Summer of AI. So the onus is on me to deliver and to entice you to come back for for more. And but I'm really, really glad that you are all here and decided to partake in this beginner workshop. I'm going to be talking about the basics of chatbots, generative AI chatbots. I will focus mostly on Microsoft Copilot, which is the official University of Illinois AI tool. I will briefly mention ChatGPT, which it is also going to become available for University of Illinois folks. I checked the University web store today. I didn't see it being offered yet, but the university is in prolonged discussions with OpenAI, and that tool is eventually going to become available to University of Illinois folks for a charge, however. Whereas Microsoft Copilot, the tool we're going to workshop today, is offered to all of us free of charge. Having said all that, this is a workshop. So I'd like you all, if you haven't yet done so, especially those who are in the room, take out your, laptops or mobile phones, and if you're able to repeat and mimic what I'm doing, that'd be very helpful. There will be time for you to explore the tool on your own a little bit too. But there's no better education than doing things. I don't want this to be a theory only. I want this to be a true workshop, and in that spirit, I'm going to demonstrate some things and have you follow along and repeat what I'm doing. Okay, so with the introductions out of the way, this is the agenda for the workshop. Hopefully, by the end of this workshop, generative AI will be a little less mysterious to you all. You'll get a better grasp of what generative AI is capable of doing and what it's not so good at yet. I will tell you about the basics of prompt engineering. I will explain what nested prompting is, something a term I coined myself, although perhaps it is being used widely, and perhaps I'm not aware of that fact. But I'll tell you what that is in a little bit. We will create some outputs in the forms of assignments, document summarization, image generation, although that'll be brief because there are better tools for that. And we will have some privacy and security issues to talk about at the end of the session. Hopefully there will be time for questions. You can post anything in the chat. Andrew, the AV specialist for the CATL, is monitoring the chat in real time. So if you, those of you who are on Zoom, if you have any questions at any moment, please post them in the chat. Okay, so without any, let me see if I missed anything before we go into. I don't think so. I think we're ready to launch into into the workshop immediately. So I will have you go to that web address you see on the screen, copilot.microsoft.com. I will have you sign in with your NetID and password. You may have a couple of options for signing in. Choose the one that says to sign in with Microsoft. Then type in your university credentials and choose. You'll have two options: Copilot for work and Copilot for individual use. Choose the one that says Copilot for work. And I will share my screen about that and meet you in that space in just a moment. Here it is, the interface, copilot.microsoft.com. I'm going to sign in with Microsoft. And between the two options, Copilot for work and personal, choose the one that says work. And here's the interface. If there are no objections, I'll just start workshopping it unless people are still signing in, having trouble accessing the tool. So I'll briefly go back to my previous slide. And in the Let's Create Part 1, here are the things that we are going to workshop in the first half of the workshop. We'll workshop an idea, create an idea, an assignment, a syllabus, and a quiz. So here's one of the ways that generative AI and Microsoft Copilot is helpful to me and to you all as educators, as academic professionals. You're welcome to repeat the prompt that I'm typing in or come up with your own, but one that is related to what I'm doing. What I'm typing in is, let's say I'm working on a paper and I'm having trouble starting and consolidating my ideas. So I'm going to employ Microsoft Copilot, and I'm going to ask it to help me write an opening paragraph to an article about harmful effects of pesticides. And in a matter of seconds, I have a paragraph. Okay. I'm ready to do some editing. Let's say my editor says, this is too long. It has to be shorter. I can take that paragraph and I'm going to ask the tool. Whoops, excuse the typos. I can ask the tool to shorten the paragraph, to limit the paragraph to 50 words. And it does that pretty quickly and pretty effortlessly and pretty efficiently. One thing I will say about generative AI, and this comes from a true generative AI expert by the name, a person by the name of Ethan Mollick, who I think operates out of Penn University, and someone who writes about generative AI. And one of the things that he advocates for is for everyone, especially beginners, to devote 10 hours with a tool of their choice. Let's say it's Microsoft Copilot, to really have a deep conversation with the tool, to get to know, to allow the tool to get to know you, as well as for you to get to know the tool. And at the end of those 10 hours, you'll have a much better idea how the tool can be useful to you personally. With a caveat, however, you spend those 10 hours conversing with the tool on a subject matter, on a topic that you are truly familiar with, so that you can when you go over the transcript, you can see where it was truthful and when it was hallucinating. Hallucinations are these is a generative AI phenomenon when it fabricates information and provides you with false data, false information. One of the most popular ways that generative AI hallucinates in is it tends to provide wrong references. For instance, it mismatches names of scientists with articles or books that they did not in fact write, or vice versa. Or it provides you with a real book, but the name of the author or authors is wrong, and things of that nature. It is not, these tools are not as yet, as far as we know, legally speaking, not trained on copyrighted information, although we've seen some articles and video clips in the news that there are lawsuits against various generative AI makers claiming that they have in fact used copyrighted materials to train these models. But these are some of the things that as a beginner, it would behoove you to, as I said, to devote 10 hours conversing with Microsoft Copilot and to learn about, its efficiency and about how it can be useful to you. Another thing that, and I already showed it to you in the first two prompts that I generated, notice that I opened both prompts with an active verb. I said in the first one, I said, help me write an opening paragraph, and the second option was limit the paragraph to 50 words. No fluff, no unnecessary politeness, just the bare bones, just a matter of fact instruction to create, to write, to limit. So this is an example of how to get started with an article, with a piece of writing. Yeah, of course you can ask a question.
Could the help me also have been taken out in the first one, or some people?
Oh, yes. Yeah, create. So, good question. And for those of you who are on the web who didn't hear, could I have taken out the help me at the start of my at the beginning of my first prompt? And I certainly could have. And yes, there is a bunch of conflicting articles out there on the web. Some people advocate for being super polite with generative AI. Some people say that it's unnecessary and it just tends to confuse the tool a little bit. So I will let you, spend a part of those 10 hours, and hopefully you do you do your homework and see what works and what doesn't in your specific case. Yes.
So in your experience, have you noticed any difference in the tone of the responses if the prompts are excessively polite and rude?
The question for those of you who are on the web is, in my experience, have I noticed any difference in responses? I think I would say that being consistent would perhaps be the best piece of advice that I can give you, because the tool tends to, the more you converse with it, the more it gets used to your style, your personality, and it tends, and the more it gets to know you, the more it's able to craft its responses to your personal, needs and wants, if you see what I'm saying.
We have a question online.
Uh-huh.
Umar asks, is it acceptable to use the output as provided, or should we rephrase it to ensure that there are no concerns about plagiarism?
Oh, the question is, should we rephrase the outputs or quote it as given by the AI tool to avoid any accusations of plagiarism? Okay, so I was going to show this to you later on, but it actually could be a great segue into what I was in to answer this question. Here's an article that I recently uncovered, and it was composed by a University of Waterloo in Canada educator. It's called AI Human Rights Impact Assessment for Educators. And I noticed, and I'm not seeing that all that often yet, but I think this is one of these things that is going to become much more popular. And as a matter of fact, I think it's going to become common practice. At the end of the article, and if you're seeing my screen right here, there's an artificial intelligence disclosure statement. And this person specifies how she employed generative AI to help her write this specific article. And I think sooner rather than later, this is going to become common practice.
To give our readers about she used artificial intelligence to write in this.
She specifies how she used it, and she says that in the writing stage, she used it for review and editing, to generate synonyms, to refine wording, and to improve flow. So at the moment, and I don't think that's going to change, according to the US Copyright Office, no piece of writing, of music, of any, no generatively created output is copyrightable. Only fully human generated outputs are copyrightable. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a couple of, let me show you a couple of other ways this tool can be useful to you. So to follow up, so we have this abbreviated paragraph. It's 50 words long. Here's what the tool is capable of doing. I'm asking it to translate the paragraph to Dutch. And lo and behold, 3 seconds later or less, I have the same paragraph translated to Dutch. I don't speak Dutch, but I speak Polish and I read Polish, and I've used it to just to test its efficiency and efficacy in translation. And I must say that the translations are accurate, but they're not poetic. Okay, for poetry translation, I wouldn't use it. But if there's a piece of, you know, I don't know, if there happens to be an article in Dutch that you really need for your research, I think I would trust it to provide for you a pretty believable translation of that specific article. Okay, so how about classwork? I'm creating another prompt. For a freshman level architecture class on. Let's use someone who is an Illinois legend, shall we? Frank Lloyd Wright. Create an assignment for a freshman, that I meant to say freshman level architecture class on Frank Lloyd Wright. And sure enough, here's an assignment with an objective, 2-part assignment. It didn't it failed to do it this time, but sometimes when I ask for an assignment, the program also provides me with a grading rubric, how each section of the structure should be graded and how it should be weighted, what percentage of the grade should be devoted to a specific part of an assignment. But you can refine, you know, if you're looking for that too, you can refine the prompt and ask for it to provide you with a grading rubric. So here's a quick way of helping you streamline your assignment creation. Having said that, once again, I'm repeating myself, but unless you're an expert on Frank Lloyd Wright, you cannot trust it 100% to tell you that this in fact is a verifiable assignment or a legit assignment, if you see what I'm saying. I should have said it before, but it's not too late to go back and to let you know that the reason Copilot, Microsoft Copilot, is useful, and what I would say a more a tool that I would advocate for is because we are signing in with our NetID and password. The university has an agreement with Microsoft by which everything that we type in, all of these prompts and all of these outputs, are privacy protected. Okay, Microsoft will not use this data, my original outputs, and inputs, and then the outputs to further train its AI models. That's not the case with any other tools at the moment, anyway, as far as us University of Illinois folks are concerned. Because we sign in with the NetID passport, and because we have that agreement, our outputs and inputs are privacy protected.
Use Copilot versus ChatGPT.
That's the main reason for using. So there are many, generative AI tools out there on the market, but for us U of I people, this would be the way to protect your data, which ChatGPT or any other of these tools will not guarantee that would be the case.
We have the question.
Yep.
Ethically, how should instructors disclose design by students, especially if we ask them not to use AI in their work?
Whoa, where do we even start? The question was, for those of you who didn't hear, ethical use of AI in the classroom, especially when it comes to students. I suppose, and I'm sorry I don't have a better answer. It would be so first of all, protect yourselves as instructors, protect yourselves by inserting a clause into your syllabus. Do not create so in this day and age, in the fall or the summer of 2025, have some type of a disclaimer in the syllabus. Talk about the ways, and various individuals, various professors in various departments deal with generative AI differently. So make sure you know if there is a department-wide policy, make sure you are familiar with it, and then also disseminate it in the syllabus. Talk about ethical use, talk about what plagiarism is, what constitutes plagiarism, and what the possible penalties would be for, academic dishonesty. That's the best I can do at the moment. We don't have a university-wide generative AI policy. There is no countrywide policy on the use of generative AI. But, if a student submits something that isn't their original work and that student doesn't let you know that the assignment was created with generative AI, that would constitute academic dishonesty. Okay, so another way that you can employ generative AI to help you out as an instructor would be by asking it to create a syllabus for this time I'm going to use a different example, 400 level college course in organic chemistry. Once again, sorry about the typos, but the systems are sophisticated and smart enough that they can overlook these things. So here we go. It's turning away a syllabus for a 15-week course in organic chemistry for college seniors. I can grab that and create a syllabus for an 8-week class. And here we go. There's a breakdown in, what textbook will be used, although that you'll have to, check that, go back and check that information. Great breakdowns, content topics by weeks. Okay. I can ask it to, based on that syllabus, and I can ask, and in week 1, what are we studying? Mechanism review, arrow pushing, stereochemistry. Let's create a quiz for that specific week. And lo and behold, and once again, I know I'm beating the dead horse over the head, but you must be familiar with this material. You must be able to verify that these questions and these answers are legit. Okay. So some of the ways you as instructors, as college professors, academic professionals can utilize generative AI. I'm going to switch gears for a second because I'm curious about how this tool knows what it does know. So I'm going to flat out ask Microsoft Copilot, how do you know about organic chemistry? Vast range. I've been trained on a vast range of scientific textbooks, academic papers, educational materials, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to take it a step further. And you tell me about a few of these textbooks. And there we go. And then we have to go back and see if these books are real or not. But it didn't do it this time, and I'm a little disappointed with Microsoft Copilot in this instance, is because Copilot does provide references, and it should have provided references for these specific books, footnotes, that is, but it didn't this time. But it is actually one of these tools that does provide references and does provide footnotes. It shares with you. It allows you to go back and check where that information came from, whether it's a book, whether it's an article, whether it's a website. Okay. All right. So at this moment, we're halfway through. I would like to take a short break and allow you to recharge. Why? You don't have to do it. You can get up and stretch, but if you're interested in playing a Kahoot, let's go ahead and join. I'll start the game in a minute. You have to go to kahoot.it, then it'll ask you for this PIN number. Let's do a little knowledge check, okay? You don't have to type in your real name. You can make up a nickname. You don't have to play the game under your real name. Thank you for all of you who are deciding to participate. 4 short questions. So it will be a minute and a half for the whole quiz. Okay, I'm going to start the game in, let's say, 20 seconds. 10. This is a large group. Thank you for humoring me, for being such good sports. Okay, let's start. Very nice. Hallucinations is what generative AI does when it makes up information. And Grok is in the lead. Excellent. All of those things it can be useful with. And Grok maintains their lead. You didn't see it in action, as I said. Unfortunately, the tool failed at providing them, but yes, it does cite its sources of information. Last question. This is for all the marbles. I haven't talked about this per se. Very nice. Sorry, I was being facetious here in the way I phrased I tried to be to turn it into a trick question. It is never prudent to provide any generative AI tool with any personally identifiable information. And the podium consists of M&Ms, P, and the winner, Grok. Very nice. Congratulations. And thank you for playing. Where did my cursor go? Oh, there you are. Okay, let's see. Why can't I leave? Oh, I see, I see, I see. Okay, very good. Okay, so let's see. Let's briefly go back to the slideshow. We've gone over all of these information, all of these usages. Going to show you a couple more ways which you can utilize Microsoft, in which you can utilize Microsoft Copilot to help you with any academic. We actually have gone over translation already, but one of the ways that Microsoft Copilot is useful is with summaries. So I'm going to grab an article, a document that I myself created, and I'm going to drop it in the box down here. Not supported. I'm going to, I don't know why that happens. It is, in fact, in a file that is supported. Somehow it just kind of fails to read it, but I'm going to take it again, resubmit it. It's scanning a doc, okay? And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask that it summarize the attached document. It's going to scan that doc, and very quickly it's going to give me an overview of the contents of that article. And I've done this before, and I know that in fact that this is a very, very good and truthful summary. So if you have a list of long scientific papers that you can't afford to read all of them, you can potentially utilize generative AI to help you summarize these with the summaries. It is there used to be a 1 megabyte limit as far as how big the files can be with Microsoft Copilot. That's one of the disadvantages over some of these other tools. ChatGPT, for instance, has a much larger limit for how big the data can be, the articles or the files that you share with it can be. Copilot has a slightly abbreviated or a much lower threshold for that. But it is very, very, very good at summarizing articles. Yes.
Grab the paper.
I'm sorry?
Someone asking, where did you go to grab the paper?
Where did I go to grab the paper? It is a paper that I myself wrote. It is a document I created for the Innovation Studio here at the CATL. It is a document that describes all of the AI tools that are available in the Innovation Studio. And as you can tell, the summary showcases, and even it groups them by various categories, which I think, yeah, I use these headings in the article as well. That this was something that I generated, an article that I made, and I just grabbed it. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and then during my exercise, I was able to get a URL for a long article and said summarize and put the URL in there, so you might be able to do that as well.
Thank you. This was a comment by one of the in-room participants. He he shared a URL with the tool and asked the tool to summarize that article that's hidden behind that URL. That is also one of the capabilities of Microsoft Copilot. Now, for something I told you that, or on that slide that I showed you, I pointed out that Copilot is good at, or generative AI in general is good at research help. Provide some scholarly documents about this topic. I'm conducting research on cancer in hamsters. Provide some scholarly documents about this topic. And hopefully this time, not only will we get a list, but also here we go. So we've got these references down here. Now, this is a feature that wasn't available even a few months ago. Would you like the red links to download these chapters to help, or summarizing one of them in more detail? So it's thinking, it's trying to be a few steps ahead of you as well. You have an option to download, you have an option to summarize, depending on which one you choose to do. Once again, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
The body of literature is so large.
Yes.
So how can you rely on, the summary it provides with this one sentence prompt to be
Mhm.
exhaustive, that this is indeed the state of
Yep.
research in this particular field?
So this is an excellent question. One of the people in the room is asking about the body of scientific literature about anything is so large, and how can you be sure that this one or two sentence summary of any article is believable? And the only way, at least at this moment, is for you to be an expert, for you to first of all open the link to see if this article is legit, verify the source, and then to start reading and to see if the information is truthful or not. So, we as each one of us as an academic professional, is an expert in a specific area. And that's I would say, how the tools can be useful to you. If it's an area we are not at all familiar with, I think I would still, set up an interview, a consultation with a librarian, on someone who is an expert in that specific field, to help me maneuver through all of that, large amounts of books, articles, what have you, that are available on that specific topic. Yes.
Let's search the university's library resources when it's looking for these articles.
The question is, does Copilot search for university databases for these articles? The answer is no, because these university-owned materials are copyrighted. And as I told you at the start of this session, only open, at the moment anyway, only open source materials are available to these tools. So if you want to delve deeper into something, you gotta visit the library and search for those articles, through the library. Yes.
Asking to see the answer again.
Here we go. I'm conducting research. So I provided with a little bit of background data. I'm conducting research on cancer in hamsters. Provide some scholarly documents about this topic. That was the prompt. And I was going to show you a way to create. Copilot can also create images, but it's not good at that. So I'll leave that for another time. How about tomorrow? Why don't you come back and visit me again? I'm conducting another workshop tomorrow on another official University of Illinois generative AI tool, namely Adobe Firefly. And with it, I will show you how to create visuals with it. But for the time being, I have one more thing I wanted to share with you. This isn't necessarily research related or academia related, but this is the summer of AI after all, with the highlight, or I'm highlighting the word summer in it. So humor me for a second. I'm going to type the following prompt. So for the summer, all right, I hope all of you get a chance to take some time off and do something for create an itinerary for a 7-day trip Vienna for a music lover such as myself. Boom. Okay. And that also includes links to very specific things. Okay. I performed this query this morning, and at that time it even generated a PDF for me. But once again, this highlights both the efficacy of the tool, but also the fact that one must be an expert. By the way, without the aid of generative AI, I actually was in Vienna just 3 weeks ago. And my purpose there was to explore the music scene. Okay, so I can tell you what we can believe from this itinerary and whatnot. So for instance, on day one, you arrive and settle in your hotel, blah, blah, blah. But in the afternoon, you take the City of Music walking tour, you visit sites where Mozart, Beethoven, Haydn, and Schubert lived and worked. Lo and behold, I did visit all of these sites. There is no way one person can visit all 4 of them in one single day. The distances, even if you travel by Uber, the distances between these locations are so big, and the hours of operations of each of these houses is so limited that there is no way that one person can actually visit all 4 of them in one day, especially in one afternoon, no less. The morning is taken up by settling in the hotel. So I went through it. All of these sites are real. The links are real. You can even book tickets now through this, but there are some things that it's still not great at. So it doesn't understand the layout of the city of Vienna. It doesn't know that it is physically impossible to visit these 4 museums in a single day, in a single afternoon. Okay. So as I said, this highlights the fact that, okay, it's useful for some things, but once again, unless you're an expert, you've experienced this, don't take it at face value, because it will, deceive you. You will not be you will not be able to visit all 4 of these sites in a single afternoon, if you see what I'm saying. Okay, so let's see. To keep in mind, generative AI does certain you there, these things are law. To perform to perform a simple generative AI search or anything takes up, according to various studies, between 10 and 17 times more energy than it would a regular search engine to do. So it really takes up a lot of power. Training data sets, that's about copyrights. Some of these tools, some of these makers flat out steal copyrighted information, copyrighted materials from makers without crediting them or compensating them for it. And then there is the privacy settings. This term will be used time and again, at least if you decide to take any additional workshops that I'm hosting. I will be always reminding you to be very, very mindful and not to share with any generative AI tool anything that could personally identify you or your students. Okay. All right. So I promised you we will end before. Oh, sorry, there is a question.
So that said, like you put in the Vienna,
Mhm.
I mean, do you advise, like if I want to keep one for work purposes and everything I'm doing is research, should I we've got guests coming from India, where should we take them? If I want to should I have a separate persona for that? And is there like a
Ah.
separate way of doing that, or do I combine it? And I
Mhm.
don't care.
The question is, should somebody create different personas for one search engine? One for work, one for leisure, one for guests. And I don't know if I have the right answer for that, to be honest with you. I think once again I would devote some time, some of those 10 hours to converse with the tool while presenting yourself as three different individuals or three different characters, if you see what I'm saying, and just see what shakes out. You're welcome. Great questions, folks. Okay. So there are other generative AI models that are available. ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude. There are costs involved. They have similar features, different flavors. There are people who prefer Claude for help with coding, for instance. There are people who swear that Claude is the best tool for help with computer programming, generating code, computer code. There are different input modes. As I said, file sizes, how much information you can how much data you can attach to it, in what form, and then privacy. But for now, the U of I, official U of I, Microsoft Copilot would be the thing that I would advocate for you, especially when it comes to your professional work as a university employees and academic professionals. Okay, I'm going to post this link in the chat, and I would like you all, because it's not 3 o'clock yet, we have enough time. Please fill out this survey right now. It is very, very helpful to us. Incredibly helpful, as a matter of fact. Or Andrew, would you mind sharing that link in the chat, posting that link in the chat? Oh, one more question. Thank you. And for those of you who are in the room, please type that into or scan the QR code and please answer. There will be a drop-down button. Please look for my specific workshop. Introduction to LLMs, my name, and today's date, which is June 3rd, and fill this survey for that specific part, okay? Now, sorry, one more question, Andrew.
The question was, do these chatbots store our inputs in their database, even if they don't share them? As someone who speaks English as a second language, would using chatbots to improve my writing be a bad idea? And my question is specifically related to research papers that are going to be submitted for publication.
Okay, to everyone. I just posted the link to the chat while I am answering the question. Okay, so the first part, I cannot make any guarantees that even with Microsoft Copilot, that some of the data you're sharing with it and some of the research you're doing in it, that it will not leak out and it will not be used to further train the AI model. I cannot make that guarantee for you. I suppose, I don't do enough with it as far as research and as far as, precious, to me, valuable information, so that I have not really delved into it to be able to tell you one way or another. I would say that I will always advocate for being prudent and do your research. Speak with people who are in the same position as you are and see what their experiences are. It is difficult to speak of that, how guarded one must be. I would say, if it were me, I would err on the side of being too guarded, to be honest with you, at least for the time being. But you must come to your own decisions, but prudence should be exercised in every encounter, every encounter with generative AI that you have. There is a lot of battles that are being fought on the legal front, generative AI makers versus creatives whose work has been pilfered for training the generative AI models, whether it's visual arts, whether it's written word. In this day and age, nothing is 100% safe on the World Wide Web, if you see what I'm saying. So I would exercise prudence, and but I would advocate, I would encourage you to to do your research, to do a lot of research, to educate yourself, and then to, you know, come up with your own conclusions. I'm not trying to avoid answering the question. I'm not shirking, you know, providing you with a concrete answer. But I think at the moment this is the best that I can do.
Yeah, through tech services themselves, they say they have a matrix of private information, HIPAA, FERPA, this. Even this data protection thing is on public data. So we're not ready yet to do FERPA stuff or to do foundation things or advancement. Those tools probably will come eventually where it's so private and it's on a private thing. Right now, we don't have that on campus anywhere.
I want to thank you all for filling out the survey. This is so useful and precious to us, and I am hopeful that every single one of you was able to do that. The last slide and the link that I just posted in the chat is for the calendar of events, upcoming events that will take place here or on Zoom. With the Summer of AI. The next event is, I'm sorry, I'm tooting my own horn for the second time today. That's tomorrow, a workshop on Adobe Firefly and image generating artificial intelligence. In the meantime, the last slide shows you, in addition to the URL for the calendar of events, where you can get additional help. Any generative AI questions, additional questions could be addressed, especially at the webpage that you see right there called genai.illinois.edu. Visit the CITL website for additional information. We have some sections speaking about talking about generative AI, how we use it and how we work with it, and how, you know, with some general advice, practices. My personal email address is on there, and there are a couple of university-wide teams that you can join. There's one called generative AI in education, generative AI in research. A lot of people contribute to them, and there's a constant flow and exchange of ideas and intel when it comes to generative AI that's done in semi-formal through semi-formal channels. Sorry, go ahead.
Just wanted to add the sessions that we're gonna have open working sessions.
Yes.
So people do your.
No, I didn't. Open working sessions. So once again, visit, and I posted that link in the chat. Look at the calendar carefully and sign up if you haven't yet. Sign up for the newsletter. We have a newsletter that is going to be coming out bi-weekly with all of the with generative AI tips, best practices, as well as links to upcoming events with registration information, things of that sort. I want to thank you all for your participation. I'm giving you back 2 minutes of your time, and please come back and avail yourself of other offerings throughout the summer here at the CITL as part of Summer of AI.
Oh.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Well, you guys, yes, he did.
Yes, let me just close the meeting.
In my article about how do I use AI for something,
Mhm.
yeah?
Yes.
It won't be plagiarism.
And I don't.
If you don't give it credit, yes, you can get in trouble for it. So like I showed you, I can show you this article one more time.
Graduate programs.
Oh, sound design.